Welcome everyone to the Easter special that's definitely not going to release on Easter because I haven't even finished editing episode 1.
Woo! If you are watching this after Easter, fucking go buy yourself some cheap eggs after Easter. They'll be all cheap.
Yeah.
Eat 20 of them.
When we get a separate event, this will be Easter 2, the regeneration.
Yeah. Jesus wishes he could come back more than 12 times.
The doctor went 11 and then he went, you know what? I'm breaking the rules, boys.
Never tell me the rules, bluff? Why did I say bluff?
So, new Doctor Who released last night.
That's right.
We had to skip it because it was past our bedtimes, but we're ready to watch it tonight.
I'm so excited. I'm feeling very antsy because we are one day late to watching it and I can't handle that. I'm dying here.
Whereas I don't really mind. I'm a big Doctor Who fan, but, you know, I usually watch stuff after it's all out, like I binge it, so I've never really worried about.
He's just very stoic, he can't admit it.
Yeah,
he's seething right now.
You could stab me in the chest and I'll be like, that kind of hurt.
I would just be like, I didn't even feel that. Try it again, bitch.
You'd be like, no! Oh, God! Like, I haven't even stabbed you.
That's exactly right. No! I'll miss the next episode of Doctor Who if I die, please! Please! but yes, apologies in advance if I'm very energetic, just because I'm quite excited to watch. Yeah. I thought last week's episode was pretty good, and this week's episode, at least from the trailer, it looked the most like visually impressive.
Right, yeah.
And I've seen non-spoiler like thumbnails, and apparently a lot of people think this episode is quite good. So I'm excited.
So I haven't seen anything from it. So any speculation on my part is pure. Yeah.
From that perspective.
Yeah.
Do you have any predictions of what we'll see just based on like last episode?
Well, last episode was a bit of a out of left field, if you know what I mean. Like nothing really felt like it's from the previous stuff. It was like completely new, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was all, here we go, let's go. It wasn't expected at all. So I think they're going to do another episode which I can't predict, which is a bit of a shit prediction, but with more connections to the lore of who is this companion and what's up with the rift and that sort of stuff. So I think they're still going to continue with kind of just left balling it, you know, like out of left field. This is it. We're going to put the companion of the Doctor into dinosaur world now, and they're going to run around and do this, that kind of shit. Mm-hmm. But then they're going to have...
And they get eaten by dinosaurs.
Yeah, and then they have just a couple connections to the main like plot they're setting up. I think that's what's going to happen.
That makes sense. That's like usually like the pattern of Doctor Who, right? Like they just go on some random adventure and they're like, oh yeah, we got plot to like link into, so they like advance it slightly.
It's a safe bet. It's not an outrageous bet. And I don't think I'm going to be able to predict what it is, but I'm going to throw one out. Because last time it was robots that enslave people. So this week we're going with... I'm going to say some sort of bird people race that want to eat worms, and the worms actually have feelings, so the Doctor has to decide who can survive, because if they don't eat the worms, they're going to die. If they do eat the worms are going to die. It's a moral dilemma. So it's going to be birds and moral dilemmas. That's my guess.
Okay, I'd watch that episode. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Bird Who.
Put them in the writer's room, right? Okay.
I'm good.
Yeah, so I mean, should we jump right into it, or are we chatting more?
Ooh, I did just want to mention one thing, right? Like,
nope.
It's not really much, but like I rewatched the last episode like 2 or 3 times because I'm a fucking glazer. 2 times. Yeah. And something I noticed, which other people also pointed out, was so we all know, like, right, the time fracture thing seems to have caused some like weird shit, right?
Yeah.
Well, before Belinda got in the TARDIS, she identified what the TARDIS was, which was really fucking weird, and I didn't catch that the first time, but like, okay, so at the start of the episode, she sees like the TARDIS flying next to the robot ship, and she's all like, what the fuck is that? And then before she goes inside, she sees it, she's like, wait, I saw this flying next to me, is this your TARDIS? And then the Doctor's just like, yep, which is, it's either a weird like plot hole, or like they are like trying to push this thing of like, oh, time isn't supposed to be going this way. Like, she actually does have more knowledge than she thought, which might make sense for, like...
Interesting. I mean, could she not have just read the name of the ship on the side of the ship?
It doesn't say TARDIS. It says police phone box, innit?
Does it not say TARDIS on it? Am I making that up?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, goddamn. I thought
you Mandela affected yourself.
I genuinely believed it said the word TARDIS on the side of the ship. Okay, well, that is weird then.
Yeah, it is very weird. And, like, I don't want to give him too much of a benefit of a doubt, like, just based on, like, the messiness of last season. But, like, you did also point out, like, she acted a bit, like, too familiar with the Doctor last episode, like, when she was like, oh, I'm not one of your adventures or whatever, and it was, like, weird, because, like, how would she know he goes on adventures and stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that does just feel like a bit of, like, not great writing, like, she's acting too familiar, but there is, like, based on that theory, there is a chance there's actually a reason behind that.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I didn't like the way she was acting, and that might be the reason why, or it might be just poor writing or a poor actor or whatever it might have been. I just didn't like it very much. But that would be an interesting reason for it. Also, I pulled up the blueprints for the TARDIS. I'll send them to your Discord, and I'll put them in the video.
Blueprints? We're going to fucking make one?
It doesn't say TARDIS on it, so I'm totally wrong. So, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's supposed to be a disguise, I guess, but
I suppose we can make one and write onto the word TARDIS onto it.
Fuck yeah, that'd be sick. Doccy Talk goes through time and space. That'd be a sick spin-off. We just actually build a TARDIS. Huge.
What do you think of next week's episode?
Next week's episode is pretty crap.
Damn.
I have actually already seen... I already know, like, a very slight amount of information about next week's episode. But
you didn't want to spoil it, so you just watched a little bit.
Yeah, I just watched the whole season, you know, just broke into Bad Wolf Productions or whoever the fuck. Yeah.
Well, anyway, I'm down to watch. You down to watch?
Me too. Yes. Give me one sec. Was there anything else? No, I'm ready to watch. I'm done putting it off. Let's do it. I'm hyped. Now cut to us, like, fucking watching it and then just being insanely disappointed. Like, that was the worst episode ever.
What the fuck is that? What? Oh, this is some bollocks. You're like, oh, I'm never watching this shit again.
When he said, my name's Doctor Who, absolutely ruined.
Honestly, if they decided to retcon a lot of it by saying it's a dream, that would be, like, a huge piss take.
Yeah. I think there's, like, ways to do it, but it's very hard to pull off that sort of thing well. You know? Like, if it was like, oh, the past few episodes have actually been tampered with, but not, like, fully erased or whatever, I don't know, that sort of thing could work. Anyway, should we watch episode?
Nah.
Oh, okay. Well, see you guys next time on Doccy Talk.
Well, honestly, I'll give it a 2 out of 10 because it didn't play.
That's pretty generous. Alright, okay. Let's see.
We're in actual 1952.
Miami, Florida. 15 people went missing.
The movies keep playing to an empty house. Gives you the chills, don't it?
Get ready, because here I come! Ta-da!
Hello, we are back.
Hello, we are. And, well, that was an episode. I think one of us is a bit more positive about it than the other.
Yeah, I think we have very different reactions. I kind of loved it. I thought it was really fun. And pretty unique for a Doctor Who episode. I can't really think of one we've had like that, apart from that one, Torchwood episode, which also had a cinema, but that was pretty different.
Yeah, well, I mean, same setting, different story and all that, but
yeah.
I feel like that was some kind of... this definitely isn't it, but it felt like some kind of fan creation, you know? Like, the Doctor gets trapped in the cinema, and then he goes and he meets all the fans, and then he gets out of it, and then he blows up the wall, and the thing gets too much light and fades out. Like, I don't know, I don't feel like anything really happened.
I mean, I feel like the little fan bit maybe did drag on a bit long, but I think everything else just felt like Doctor Who to me. Like, I'm kind of...
But let's remove the rest of it, though. Let's just say there wasn't the fan bit. Just talking about the rest of it.
Yeah.
Like, what happened is the God of Light came out of a movie. He abducted some people. And then the Doctor came along. He abducted the Doctor. The Doctor escaped because movie bullshit, which...
Yeah.
I don't even think that was clever. I think that was absolute trash as an explanation of how he escaped. He just decided to. And then he blew up the wall and the light shone on him and he went from... I don't know, he absorbed a bunch of Time Lord's energy for nothing. Became 3D, became 2D again, became existential and became the universe. And it was like, what? What are you talking about?
I don't know, man. I think that's all pretty standard for Doctor Who. Like, Doc gets Doc gets captured, comes up with some big solution. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't really. And then
yeah, sure.
I mean,
I'm not saying there's no other episode that doesn't make sense. I'm saying this one makes no sense.
I think it makes enough sense. I mean, like, there's a lot of like jumping explanations, right? Because they're doing the whole God thing. I think they kind of just use that so like they don't have to do a science fiction explanation. It's just kind of like it works like that because it's magic, right? But like,
it's lazy and shitty though. I don't like that explanation of he can do that because he's a god. By the way, like he used 2 projectors on the back of the Doctor to absorb his Time Lord essence and become 3D.
Mm-hmm.
Like, could we have not had some mad scientist or some shit or weird guy who was trying to make cartoons real and he worked out some bullshit? Maybe he was an alien and he was doing that. You know, some like sci-fi explanation to it. Why does it have to be he's just a god so he can do that, lol?
I mean, they definitely could have done the whole scientist angle. That's like more like classic Who, but I guess like they're trying to go along with the whole god thing. I'm kind of glad they're not just dropping it because it would feel weird if like Sutekh was just the end of it. And like, I mean, it was all following like the rules of light, right? Okay, so like they had like the little scene with the burn and then him using regeneration energy to like bring out the regeneration light. I think it was kind of dumb that he still had energy stored over from bigeneration. Like, I don't really like that inclusion, but it makes sense for the rest of it, right? Because then that light comes out, the god is like, oh cool, I'm the god of light, I'm gonna pull out even more of that from the wound you just healed. And then that's how the regeneration comes out. He starts going 3D when he goes back to 2D because his regeneration gets interrupted, basically.
Sure. Well, but let's talk about his plan then.
Mm-hmm.
He abducted a bunch of people because he's the god of light, and I guess he's crazy. I don't know why he abducted those people. He just did.
Well, no. He said at the start, like, one, he was very lonely. Like, he was the only thing like him in creation, so he probably took him for like company. And like 2, like the Doctor said, they're all gods, it's all like games to them, so they also probably just don't really care about any consequences at the same time.
That's what I'm saying, he's just crazy. He's not like, he didn't have a plan with them. It wasn't like, I'm gonna abduct them to do this and this will destroy that or some shit. Like, he was just doing it because that's kind of his thing. Which, that's acceptable, that's fine, whatever. He was abducting people and that makes him bad. So the Doctor's gotta stop him because he's bad.
Mm-hmm.
But then the rest of his plan is just kind of like, I don't know, keep abducting people forever, I guess. Like, I can't go outside because... Well, and then he could go outside.
Well, once he found out about the Doctor's regeneration, then his plan was to become 3D and become real, you know, live a more significant life. Before then...
Which, I like that, but like, I don't know, why couldn't he go outside? Because he would be euphoric?
Maybe he didn't really know what would happen if he went in the light, but like, I mean...
Yeah.
He just... Like he said at the end, like, he became everything but also nothing, right? He became too big to really have, like, any significance on the rest of the world, and he was talking about how he was alone at the start, so I don't think he'd really want that, but at the same time, like, he clearly enjoys consuming light, so it was probably more just, like, ecstasy when he was actually absorbing all the sunlight sort of thing, not so much, like...
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I get that, but we think about all the other gods, right? Like, the toy maker, he wants to have fun with the Doctor because he thinks Doctor's very interesting and ultimately kind of kill the Doctor or something, or just mess around with him the whole time. There was the Maestro who wanted to silence all music because she thought that silence was excellent and gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
She's going to take away all sound from the universe.
Yeah.
Who else was there? The God of Death who wanted to kill everything in the universe. Like, they all had, like, goals.
Yeah.
He was just kind of like, shit, I'm alive. What do I do? I'm lonely. I'm going to steal some people. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's a Time Lord. I can make a real body now. I'm going to do that. Oh, fuck. Now I'm becoming light. This is great. I'm nothing.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't really have a plan. He was just like a ramble of nothing. It wasn't really a god. He was just a being of light.
I mean, I suppose, he didn't have a grand plan until the Doctor was there, but, like, he was there to consume light and not be alone. I think that's good enough character motivations.
It's not good enough for a god, though. Like, it's good enough for a character motivation for a being of light. But he was one of the harbingers and a god, and he was just kind of like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I don't think he needed to be a god. Like I said during the recording, but that won't be on YouTube, I guess. Like, I do think it would have been cooler if he was, like, a harbinger for, like, the real god of light or something. Like, show that he's still, like, a big threat, still very powerful, but not actually a god himself. Although then I guess the ending wouldn't have worked, but still, like...
Why wouldn't it have worked?
Well, because, I mean, the whole thing was like, oh, we made him into a real god, basically, to stop him.
We didn't make him into a real god, they just made him into light. A light that scatters everywhere, like all light does.
Yeah, I mean, they made him omnipresent, basically.
Yeah, but omnipresent doesn't equal god.
It's closer to...
Like, light is omnipresent in some...
It's closer to a real god than anything we've seen so far.
Agreed, it is closer. It is closer, but it doesn't make him a god just because they scattered his light around the entire universe.
I suppose. But whatever. It made him closer to a god.
Yeah, okay.
Like, they made a point of that.
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. They made it closer to the ethereal idea of Christian God, that he is just omnipresent and nothing, really. Like, he just sort of exists as a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, if I took your atoms and scattered them amongst the universe, so you essentially were dead, it doesn't make you anything. You just become nothing, like you said.
Yeah. I suppose. But he's probably still, like, conscious, right?
I hope so. I hope he comes back. I mean, it's a cool idea.
Yeah.
They're not really doing anything with him.
Yeah. I reckon, like, eventually they'll do, like, some sort of, like,
like a reuniting.
Yeah, like a sort of Sinister Six sort of thing, and all the gods come back.
Yeah.
And it'll be like, hee.
That better be like a two-parter, though, because...
Oh, for sure, yeah.
These god episodes are wrapping up so fast.
Yeah, I feel like that's a big issue with, like, most of his era, to be honest. It's all just a bit fast. Yeah. How would you feel if, like, it turned out, like, Sutek wasn't actually defeated, and he turns out to also be the villain of this season finale? Like...
It makes sense, because the TARDIS keeps making the sound.
Exactly. And I mean, it was nonsense the way he was defeated. Like, I think I'd be a bit mixed, because I think it would make the previous season finale a bit more palatable in the fact he wasn't actually defeated.
You know what? That's actually a fantastic point, right?
Yeah.
Do you like how Sutek was defeated, right?
No, I don't.
How is this any different? All they did was brought light to light, and that's how he was defeated.
No, because with Sutek, right, he had spent, like...
Yeah.
Not millions, an undefinable amount of time in the time vortex, and that was what was making him more powerful. And then all of a second, he goes there again, and he just dies. This was like, okay, we don't actually know where the God of Light was originally. I guess he was on the moon or something. Then he got sent here.
Sorry, I guess he was on the moon or something. Fuck it.
It seems
That's
like
such a brilliant explanation, because true, he was just on the moon, I guess.
Yeah, they could have explained that a bit better. But, like, I mean, he wasn't getting much light before. He was getting, like, a very limited amount from a projector, and then he couldn't handle the rest, didn't it? It's very... I mean, I'm not a massive fan of that trope. You've heard me complain, like, loads of times about, like, overloading of power, but I think I quite liked the twist on it this time, in that, like, he didn't just get destroyed, he became something completely different.
Like, I mean, he did get destroyed in the end, but I get it. It was a slightly different version of the trope. I'm not trying to say that trope is the reason it's bad.
Yeah.
I think defeating the god of something with the thing he's the god of is very goofy. Death to death or light to light, either way.
Yeah.
It just feels very silly. Like, I'm the god of all lava. Not lava! Oh! Like, we throw him in a volcano and he dies, apparently. You know, like, because he went into the Earth's crust and there's so much lava, he dispersed amongst all the lava and now he's gone. Like, it's a goofy trope.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I do think it's not great. Like, I mean, that's pretty much been how the Doctor's been beating all the gods, and I haven't really liked any of the endings to any of them. I don't think this guy is very good at writing endings, but I can't lie. Out of all the gods, this is my favourite ending for one of them. I think it was fine.
I got that.
Like, I
can appreciate your stance on it. Like, I think the whole he becomes the light and god and whatever is interesting. Mm-hmm. It's probably the best way they defeat a god so far.
Yeah. But also, like, I mean, I feel like with all the other ones, we pretty quickly could, like, come up with a better solution. I can't really think of a better one for this, to be honest.
Really? You can't think of a better one?
Not really. Like, I mean, what, they could have burnt it, but then that would be worse, I feel like. I don't know.
Alright. Let's just say, this is just off my head. Let's say the God of Light, he loves light. So he wants to take all light away from the universe into him and create a cold, dead universe. Just like the Maestro was going to, essentially.
Okay.
Because he loves light. He wants all of it for himself. Right? So then he starts like absorbing the sun or some shit. So there's like a total eclipse in this area. And it's this really cool scene where everyone's dark and shit. And Doctor's like, nah, fuck you, because we have artificial light. And it starts absorbing artificial light, and he's like, it's too much because it's artificial. And then he starts expanding, getting big, or some shit. Random bullshit. There could have been some cool scenes with that. But all he was doing was kidnapping people like a Sarah Jane villain.
I mean, I guess, but isn't that just like the same ending, but just like a bit longer, right?
Well, sure, it's a bit longer, but this was a bit cooler. Like, it adds more God to him. Like, he's absorbing the fucking sun in that idea.
Yeah, I suppose it would make him more godlike. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, that kind of shit. If he was doing something like creating entropy about the universe, that would be cool and godly and scary. And then the Doctor defeating him through some sci-fi bullshit, I would have been like, oh, that's pretty neat.
Yeah. Building off your idea, actually, like, they could have done, like, okay, do like the ending where he just wins, but straight up, he actually wins. Like, he absorbs all light, and
Sure.
it's like, oh, this is fucking great.
Yeah.
I love all this light. And then build off the one or two character beats we had from him before. Like, he's all lonely and shit. Let's say he wins, he takes up all the light, and he's like, oh, fuck, now there's nothing else. So then, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, the Doctor does a classic, you know, talk no jutsu, talks him down, like, see, you win, but this is all you got left. Is this really what you want? So then he kind of just, like, gives the light back, and then, you know.
What if he becomes the new sun? Like, he destroys the sun, and then he flies up and explodes into a new sun.
Exactly, yeah. Like, the Doctor actually
That would have been such a
changes
cool
one of his
ending.
minds, yeah. But
Yeah.
before that, they probably would have needed more time. But still, they should have more
Granted,
time. They should have more time, though.
I'm not saying, like, they didn't have enough time, or I'm not commenting on that. I'm just commenting on the Raw episode as we got it. And they spent a lot of time on the fan service bit, which was like,
Yeah.
I don't know who that's for, to be honest. It seemed a bit insulting to fans. How they were just like, oh, you're a bit annoying. Like, yeah, we are annoying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It didn't seem that fun or interesting. I didn't like it. I didn't think they needed it. But that's whatever. They're gonna have that somewhere because they just wanted it.
I'm a bit mixed on that bit. Like, I do think, like, parts of it were, like, disrespectful or just weird. Like, the calling them annoying was so unnecessary. Honestly, pretty entertaining and funny. Like, I thought this episode in general was quite funny.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think some of it was a bit fun. Like, I'm not saying that the entire bit where they brought in outside of, like, you know, real people was absolute shit. But, like, I don't know, the fact that he sat down and had a cup of tea with them and they explained to him how they like the show and what he does and their favourite episode, whilst a god is, like, killing people or some shit, it just felt so offbeat, you know?
Yeah, the vibes were a bit off. I can buy, like, the Doctor wanting to hear more, because let's be honest, he's got a bit of an ego, but he wouldn't stay that long, and he wouldn't just buy it straight away.
It could have been that the God of Light brought all these things to life, and, like, he brought these people to life as well, these fans of the show, these fake things that doesn't really exist because no one likes the show. He brought these things to life, and then as a post-credit scene, the Doctor goes and visits them or some shit, you know?
Yeah. That could have been cool. Yeah, I did kind of think they were going to, like, get brought to life as well at the end or something.
Yeah.
I feel like that, like, they didn't need to do the whole, like, crying thing. Like you said, like, oh, why should I care about these characters or whatever?
Seriously?
Like, they've been doing that, like, every episode in this era, where they just kind of skip over the actual emotional connection and then pretend like they did that.
You're gonna die. Don't worry, we won't die. We'll just stop existing.
I think the music they were using there was, like, from when, like, fucking the universe ended in Matt Smith's era. It was a weird choice of music.
Well, yeah, because they were dying, Andre. Our favourite characters.
You're right.
Fan A, B, and C were dying.
We like Blink as well. I like Blink. Fuck. No, I mean, like, yeah, I feel like the emotional beats have been pretty shit this era, and I do think it would have just saved time and been a better twist to have it just be like, hey, we're really sorry, we have to go, whatever, and then the Doctor brings him into real life, just like the other people, would have saved time.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Disregarding that whole section, though, the episode just didn't really have much to it. I mean, obviously it had that big part of it where they were doing the fan service bit, which ate into the times they had to speed through it a bit. But, like, they didn't establish his powers, ever. He just had random bullshit whenever he felt like it.
I mean...
Go on.
Okay. I mean, okay, they didn't, like, have super established, like, hardcore, like, hey, these are the only things he can do, but that was kind of just because they kept, like, playing around with his powers, like, push the extent of what he can do, and I quite liked that. I thought it was quite fun. Like, they tried, like, 5 different, or more than 5 different ways, like, for him using his powers. I don't know, I just thought it was quite enjoyable seeing them play around with this idea, you know? Like, even if a lot of it was
like
quite
plot
quick.
convenience, to be honest. They made up whatever power they needed at the time.
But I mean, they were all kind of related. Like, it was like, okay, turn them into cartoons. Oh, they became 3-dimensional. Like, oh, but that didn't get them out. So it's just kind of continuing on that. Like, all right, we got to try different things. And then it's like, oh, they tried going up and down. That did stuff, but it also didn't work. Like, I feel like normally Doctor Who would just be like, hey, we're going to try one thing and it works. I quite liked that they had to try multiple things. And, like, I don't know.
I know what you mean. I strongly dislike the high concept of you're a 2-dimensional character, so fleshing yourself out brings you into a 3D.
It's a bit of
I thought that
wordplay.
was pretty goofy.
Yeah, it is.
But like,
goofy.
I mean, like I say, it's high concept. It's wordplay. It's not like it's a simple, A to B thing. It's an A through C to over to B, sort of whatever. It's clever to a degree, but it also felt very out of pocket. Like, they just kind of went, yeah, you can flesh out your character and that's how you become 3D. As if all the other trapped souls were just sitting there crying and not trying to, like, I don't know, do anything. Be like, oh god, I'm gonna miss my girlfriend who's been trapped there for years because she's waiting for me or some shit like that, and then saying something that fleshes them out.
Yeah, that is.
They
a
weren't
good
doing
point.
that. All the other people were just sitting there crying, I guess.
Yeah, well, that is a good point. I mean, like, the only defense I got for that, I guess, is like they were like, oh, I'm 2D, I can't think properly. But then, like, so did they just get really lucky? Or, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they pulled it out of their arse because the Doctor needed a way to escape. And it didn't even give them a way to escape. It just kind of was clever and funny for a second, and then that was it.
I mean, it progressed the plot. It moved them past, like, the 2D thing and, like, past the little jokes. I mean,
yeah,
I get your
but
complaints, but I don't know. I just found the episode quite fun, to be honest. Like, I thought it was
that's
very
my issue
playful.
with it. It felt more like a Saturday morning cartoon, which, wow, that's the vibe they're going for, obviously.
Yeah.
But it felt more like a Saturday morning cartoon than a Doctor Who episode. And that's like, one part that's interesting because they're trying to go for a different vibe. But another part, they could have Doctor Whoized it a bit, thrown in some cool sci-fi tech that you had to tinker with or some shit, or had a character that actually had some depth to it beyond just, I lost my wife and he brought her back for a second. Like, that character was so throwaway.
Oh, I thought he was fine. He wasn't really like a character I'd give much second thought to, but I don't think they really needed to expand on him, to be honest.
But he could have been, like, there's so many times where they have a third companion to an episode, where there's like a character who's kind of joining the main cast along and they're fleshing him out as they go and whatever. And it could have been a cool twist that he was like actually leading the Doctor into this, like, because he was trying to get his wife back or some shit. Like, maybe like God have like promised him his wife back if he captured enough souls, so he was like baiting people in. Just made him an actual character, give him some actual purpose rather than just sort of existing as this guy who's sad.
I suppose, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean that's my only complaint about that guy. He just didn't feel like he was doing anything in the plot. He was there, he was sad, he had a story, but it was very contained. The Doctor didn't do anything to help him or stop him.
Yeah.
He was just there.
Yeah.
And then right at the end, he happened to have the match. And the only reason he was plot relevant is because he smoked. Like, she could have found a match anywhere and he wouldn't have had to exist, but they made him relevant to the plot because he had the matches, and then he became the hero. And did he die or something, or did he just kind of go, you need to run,
he blew
and then
himself
not
up.
die?
He blew himself up.
Okay,
yeah.
so he did die in the end.
Yeah.
Right, so the only reason they wrote him in there was for the heroic sacrifice and the fact that he had matches. They could have written him out quite easily by saying that the explosion doesn't kill the companion and she just happened to have matches on her. Like, he was just not relevant.
Yeah, but I mean, he also didn't take up, like, that much amount of time. I don't know. I thought he was fine.
He took up time, though. He took up some time, which could have been used to do something else.
That's true.
Like the scene where he's dancing with his wife, the scene where we're zooming on him as he's crying, cuddling the thing, the part where the god walks up to him like, I can just kill your wife right now, I'll blow her up with fire. And he's like, no, don't. Like, I don't know, I just didn't feel for him because we hadn't had any time to establish his character, and he had no character. He was just sad man with wife.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. I thought he was fine. I just think he served his purpose, to be honest. But yeah, they could have cut him, to be honest, and gotten more time. I 100% agree with that. Like, it could have just been the Doctor, her, and the villain. I mean, you'd have a lot more focus on all three of them, I reckon, as well as some extra time.
Yeah. I'd see what the viewers think of this guy, so comment down below what you thought of Sad Man with Wife.
Indeed. And tell us what you thought about the episode as a whole.
Yeah, honestly, please do. But I'm imagining now just like, oh my god, Sad Man with Wife was my favourite character. I had a wife once and I have a recording of her.
And then she also got brought back to life. I thought that was very relatable.
So relatable. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Shall we begin wrapping it up then?
Yeah, okay. Well, this was another good episode. Thank you for joining us. I would give it, like, honestly, like a 5 out of 10. It wasn't as good as the previous one, in my opinion.
Oh, really? You preferred the last one?
Yeah. Preferred is a strong word, but I thought it was weaker.
Okay. How...
I might be turning into like the Simon Cowell of our show.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know which one I prefer.
Yeah.
Let me think. I did think they were...
Oh, they didn't do any stuff towards the companion. They didn't. I was completely wrong, you know.
Yeah. Only thing we got was like she was again like, hey, I would like to go home though. But then I kind of like that she went along with the Doctor once he was like, hold on. This could be really fun.
True.
Like, she didn't bite back too bad.
Know, speaking of that, I kind of hated that. Because she was like, I'm not one of your adventures. I want to go home. And he was like, but mysterious chains, though. And she was like, all right, lead the way. It felt like a complete assassination of her character.
I don't really think... I don't agree that it's an assassination. I think it's more just like... She still wants to go home. But she is curious. Yeah. Like, that curiosity, of course, would exist, you know. And like, sure, she still doesn't really. She doesn't really know anything about the Doctor. Like, all she knew was that she got a fun new outfit. She's in the past. The Doctor is trying to get her home because he got the little device and shit. I don't remember actually what ended up with that device. I think we talked over it a bit, both of us. Like, what did he actually do with it? He like scanned around. And then I remember the Vindicator device thing he had at the start.
Oh god, yeah, I remember mentioning that. I have no idea.
He like kind of just put it back in the TARDIS. I feel like we maybe missed a little bit. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, he was saying we're gonna put like a hook onto time, and then go to the part of time we're gonna try and get to, and use it to reel the TARDIS in.
Oh,
so he was putting it on the timeline, and then in the future, when it was later on, he was going to use it to hook the TARDIS in. I think that was the idea.
That's pretty cool. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea. I mean, it uses time. It uses bullshit sci-fi stuff of I'm going to pull the TARDIS in with the Vindicator. Like, whatever. Yeah. It was interesting.
Yeah.
They didn't use it, but that was for a later episode. So.
But yeah, they didn't really progress Belinda's or the Time Fetcher's character. I suppose they were focusing more on progressing like the Pantheon of Gods storyline instead.
Yeah.
I thought it was... I thought they'd have more of a fanfare at the fact, like, okay, Mrs. Flood, right? She keeps popping up. She's clearly like a big mystery character that they're probably going to sort out. Yeah, maybe she's Sutek's Harbinger again. No, I don't know. She's probably like another god, or maybe even something else, like a Time Lord or something. Who knows? But like, I think
maybe she's the Master.
Maybe there's a lot of theories people have saying she's a different renegade Time Lord from Classic Who called Virani, but we'll see, because people are very...
I think you mentioned that, yeah.
Yeah, people have very rose-tinted glasses of that character, because they hear, like, oh, another renegade Time Lord like the Master who's smarter than the Doctor? That sounds so cool, but if you actually go back and watch the episodes she's in, apparently she's it's very, very bad episodes. so we'll see. But anyway, my point, what I was gonna say is, like, this was the first time we've seen her outside of her time zone, and they just kind of threw her in at the end. Like, I thought there'd be more of a fanfare about that, like, oh, how is she here? I guess they're trying to do, like, the Doctor hasn't noticed her this season yet, but still, kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, they kind of are just nailing in, like, oh, she's clearly got some sort of supernatural powers, but we'll see.
So there's 3 different plot threads that are going right now. The Vortex, the Companion, and this old lady.
Yes. And I suppose the Pantheon of Gods, but they're not... All they're doing is really, like, showing more gods rather than building up to something.
As I commented last time, I think they're more of a villain of the week kind of feeling. You know, like, I'm the god of spaghetti! Oh my god! And then they defeat him with spaghetti.
Yeah. I think it was, like, even if the episode turned out to be good, I think it was a bad idea doing God of Death, also the God of Gods in the first season, because, like, how do they go up from there, really? Like,
yes, that's true.
Did
it was a good finale, but then they didn't do him justice, so...
Yeah. Anyway. Okay, so... Great episode / bad episode. No, I don't know. I
didn't hear your rating.
Yeah, I
said a 5 out of 10.
So what did I gave Robot Revolution a 7 out of 10, right?
7, yeah.
I was gonna say 8 for this one, but then I was thinking about it, and I don't actually know if I prefer this one or the last one. So I'm gonna give it a 7. I'm gonna keep them on about even grounds for now.
Alright. If I had to award an extra 0.1 points to either one of the episodes, which one are you putting it on?
I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have to rewatch it to get, like, a accurate one. But
that's fair.
Okay, on a whim, first reaction, I think maybe Robot Revolution was a bit better. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was a bit.
So Robot Revolution on a whim 7.1 over the 7 of this episode.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I mean, we're not giving that an official rating of 7.1, but
it's
if
official.
you had to,
it's on the Doctor Who website. Yeah. It's canon.
Yeah. It's on the official wiki. Fucking Andre and Peter's reviews.
Indeed. But yeah, from the very little I've heard, I think its next episode could be a potentially interesting one. I've heard speculation that it might be a sequel to a Tennant era episode, which
oh my god, is David Tennant coming back?
Who knows? I mean, I expect him to come back at some point, but not for next episode, right?
Yeah, he could.
They just brought up Bi-Generation, I think, for the first time since he Bi-Generated, so they're making us, remember him. Don't know.
Anyway, yes.
Yeah. Shall we do a question of the week?
True, your turn.
Yeah. So another simple one, but who is your favourite Doctor and why? Yeah. Would you like to answer it? We can both give a quick answer and then leave it to the viewers. Or I've got another.
When I was in hospital for a while, I never really got the Doctor's names, so I don't really remember who my favourite Doctor was.
Okay. Well, mine's.
But in the show Doctor Who, it's Matt Smith.
I see. What's your favourite thing about him?
Well, okay, so I used to like David Tennant the most, obviously. When I was a kid, I loved him. Even early adult, I loved him. But more recently, after rewatching Matt's era, I think the episodes were just better. Like, I don't think he's a particularly better actor, but I think that his era was stronger. It had more cool plot threads, it had more cool characters, and for that reason, I think he's my preferred watch, so my preferred Doctor.
Okay, fair enough, very nice. I think my favourite Doctor probably is just David Tennant.
Oh god, basic bitch.
I know, gosh. Like you, I grew up with him, and I think as a kid, like he was sort of... Yeah, that's true. I grew up with him, he was in my house. No.
Wow.
He was the Doctor Who that I watched as a kid, and I think, like, in a way I sort of looked up to him as a kid. I think, like, the human aspect of his Doctor has never really been captured by any of the other Doctors. I quite like that.
But he did dip his fingers in jam and eat it in front of some humans.
Exactly. What alien does that?
True.
None of them, probably. For Pating. But, yeah. I think I like I think the human aspect is what stands out to him compared to other Doctors. I quite like that he's quite flawed compared to a lot of the other... No, I suppose all of them have flaws, but I like that sometimes he can just be a bit rude, but at his heart, he's still just a good guy. That's kind of like what I like about Capaldi as well, I suppose. But yeah.
Yeah.
What about you guys, viewers? Tell us. Let us know.
Yeah. Tell us all your favourite Doctors and why Jodie's not it.
Indeed, you're going to get some haters for that one. No,
I hope so. Fucking fight me. I think she's a great actor, a lovely person, but the writing and the season was just arse.
Agreed. It's my least favourite era of Doctor Who. I mean, I say that. I think there are bits of her era I would rather watch than some of Classic Who, but that's just because I think it's aged a bit.
But Classic Who's kind of, it's a bit of a long shot. I'm saying in New Who is the worst Doctor?
Jodie, probably.
No offense to her. Again, lovely actor, great lady and whatever, but just the show was just not at a good point.
Yeah, I was not a fan.
I hope that she, if not another female Doctor, comes back, because I don't want just more guys forever.
Yeah. I thought Jo Martin, the fugitive Doctor, even though she was barely on screen, I thought she was quite good.
She was cool.
I think I bought her as the Doctor right away.
She was my favourite female Doctor.
Me too.
Unfortunately. I liked the introduction to Jodie, and let's not go into a big discussion about this, but I just want to mention I liked the introduction to Jodie, how she was the Tinkerer Doctor and she made the sonic screwdriver out of scrap and shit.
Yeah,
that was a really cool idea, and then they just dropped it because it was too inconvenient to write with, I guess.
Yeah, or they just didn't really think about it, I imagine. I don't know.
Yeah, either way, it's a shame. But yeah, let us know in the comments your favourite Doctor and companion, I guess, if you want to have an extra question for the week.
Yeah.
Shit, that could have been next week.
Shit. Don't tell us about your companion, don't you fucking dare.
Yeah, don't even mention... If you mention a single companion in the comments, I'm actually going to leave the show.
Yeah, it's over for you. Okay, cool. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Woohoo!
Yeah.